Welcome to this extended edition of Time Travel Plus. This is an exclusive production of WJHG News Channel 7 in Panama City, Florida, where we step back in time and take a look at stories that made headlines in years gone by. In this episode, we're taking a look at 1986, when crowds were starting to get rowdy in Panama City Beach. Development and conservation were at a crossroads in Destin. Florida State's branch campus in Panama City was brand new, and a tourist attraction called Castle Dracula caught fire. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our trip back in time as we explore the year 1986.
While hundreds of thousands of tourists visit Panama City Beach each year, a handful of younger visitors cause thousands of dollars worth of damage to their hotel rooms. Current state law will allow the police department to file a complaint against the person and have him summoned to court. Whether he shows up or not is another subject. Meanwhile, the hotel owner is stuck with paying for the repairs. Panama City Beach Police Chief Lee Sullivan is looking to enhance the current law so that he could arrest those responsible for the damage.
What we're looking at is just criminal vandalism, all right? And we need to be able to take those people to jail. And people that are staying around there need to see us take those people to jail, so they'll know that you just can't come down here and tear everything up.
By arresting the person, Sullivan feels that he would have more control over having the person pay for the repairs. Just recently, one hotel owner said that in one weekend, he had 10 television sets thrown out onto the beach, and toilets and bathtubs were ripped up and pulled out. Chief Sullivan says that the first thing to go are usually lamps, windows, and doors. Has this year been more of a problem than years past?
It seems to be worse this year, but we have just had a huge amount of people down here. So I don't know whether I'm looking at more serious problems or whether I'm looking at a greater number, or whether I'm just getting old.
Chief Sullivan stressed that it's only a small number of those that visit Panama City Beach that cause the damage. Sullivan is seeking the support of the State Hotel and Motel Association to have the current law changed. He hopes to have the measure before the state legislature by the time they begin meeting again. In Panama City Beach, Glenn Austin, TV 7 News.
The 1986 class will be the first to graduate from the local FSU campus since its dedication. To preserve that place in history, student government officials Monday afternoon buried a time capsule on the campus where the Alumni Park will be built.
What we are doing today is interring a time capsule, which will serve as a permanent monument, a constant reminder of just how special the class of 1986 really is.
The capsule contains a number of items: a Bay County phone book, a schedule of classes, an FSU football, and most importantly, a photo album with memorabilia and pictures of the recent campus dedication. The capsule will be removed April 21st, 2011. The student government also dedicated another item, a memorial to the Space Shuttle Challenger astronauts. Porter says several of the student government representatives are education majors and felt this would be a special tribute to the astronauts who died in the pursuit of knowledge. Ken White, TV 7 News.
At 1 a.m. this morning, the Panama City Beach Fire Department responded to a fire at Castle Dracula on Front Beach Road. Upon arriving, they found that the fire was already burning through the roof. A call for help went to the Thomas Drive Fire Department. In all, 5 trucks and 50 firefighters battled the blaze. The fire started in the middle. Getting to the origin was difficult because they had to find their way through a maze. 40 minutes later, they gave up and tried to contain the blaze to just this one building. An LP gas tank became the focus of attention as firefighters hosed it down to keep it cool so it wouldn't explode. The State Fire Marshal's office is investigating.
I know that there were reports of people exiting the building with gasoline. I can't confirm that. But the fire marshal was called in originally. I called for him as soon as we got set up here.
A more complete report on what started the fire will be released in a few days. While there is some question as to what started the fire, beach firefighters are sure about what could have prevented it.
As this fire here just illustrates, underlines the significance of the sprinkler systems. If there's a statement that this building will make, it's that sprinkler systems stop fires such as this.
The fire took its toll on the firefighters as well. 2 suffered from heat exhaustion and 1 received a minor cut. All were treated and released from Bay Medical Center today. In Panama City Beach, Glenn Austin, TV 7 News. When the state purchased Bernie Henderson Beach in 1983, Governor Bob Graham announced that the area would become a state park. In order to do that, the Department of Transportation formulated plans to close Highway 98 and reroute traffic along a new road around the park. For 3 years, opposition to the plans never surfaced. That has now changed. Business owners along the highway that's slated to be closed are upset. Tuesday night, during a public hearing on the closing, a packed room of about 60 people talked for and against the plan. The majority of the audience wanted to keep the road open in order to save their businesses.
So you're looking at the same situation. When you block the road, you're going to see a bunch of these people in this room standing in unemployment lines, and all those people that were with them on unemployment lines.
Those that supported the plan to close the highway were greeted with jeers and boos.
Let me speak, sir, and then you can get up and speak because I have not interrupted your group. Have the courtesy. Courtesy. Thank you. Let me speak, and please be quiet.
Tim Taylor, who said that he was in the tourism business, said that closing the road will reduce traffic deaths in the area and will help tourism.
I happen to think closing the road through Henderson Beach Park is the very best thing to save tourism in Destin and tourism east of that highway.
The final decision to keep the road open or closed will be made by the district engineer within a few days. However, one DOT official said after the meeting that he really hasn't heard anything that will keep the road open. In Destin, Glenn Austin, TV 7 News.
It was a sight that had not been seen in more than 6 months in Apalachicola Bay, oystermen harvesting. About 50 boats took to the waters this morning in hopes of bringing in big catches, but when the boats began trickling back in around 2 in the afternoon, it became clear that the day's harvest would not be a good one.
You didn't get the 2 bags? That's all the other boat had.
Many boats that had been out in the bay since sunrise came back with only 2 bags. This harvester was one of the fortunate ones. He brought back 7 bags.
Can't catch it. They're just not there.
4 checking stations were set up by the Marine Patrol to inspect the oysters being brought back and to make sure they were within the legal size of 3 inches and that no more than 15 bags per boat were brought ashore.
I take this in right there and set her on the dock bar. Another one right behind that one.
After being okayed by the Marine Patrol, the bags were tagged and given back to the oystermen. Officials say that unless the productivity in the bay rises within the next few weeks, it might have to be shut down, once again forcing hundreds of Franklin County men out of work. From East Point, Cindy Hill, TV 7 News.
Under threatening skies and a slight drizzle, the Department of Transportation held the official grand opening of a new section of Highway 98. The work began in May of 1984 and was paid for by the state gas tax money that was enacted in 1983.
And this project was the first project in the state of Florida to take advantage of the new gas tax funds. And that was because we had the plans on the shelf.
The new stretch of highway, now called the Emerald Coast Parkway, is 7.4 miles long and is 4-laned. Department of Transportation officials, referring to Florida's constant growth problem, said that the new stretch of highway will help motorists bypass the congested beach area.
The opening of US 98, or should I say now the Emerald Coast Parkway, provides a vital link between Destin, Sandestin, points east and west, without the delay and congestion of the beach traffic.
Shortly after the speeches had been made, DOT personnel began removing road closed signs along the new stretch of Highway 98, and traffic began moving through. The old stretch of Highway 98 along the beach will now be given to the local government and taken off the state and federal highway system. A crowd of close to 100 onlookers crowded a courtroom in Panama City late Friday afternoon to watch the investiture of Honorable Dede S. Costello. Representatives from Governor Bob Graham's office, along with several circuit court judges, watched Dede Costello put on the judge's robe for the first time. Shortly afterwards, she was sworn into office by the Honorable Larry G. Smith.
That I am duly qualified to hold office.
That I am duly qualified to hold office.
Under the Constitution of the state.
Under the Constitution of this state.
And that I will well and faithfully perform.
And that I will well and faithfully perform.
The duties of circuit judge.
The duties of circuit judge.
On which I am now about to enter.
On which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge Costello then spoke to the audience.
I want to be diligent in doing my job. I want to be fair and impartial in every situation. I pledge to you, all of you that are here today, and the people of this circuit, that I will do my job in a fair and impartial manner, that I will not prejudge any case, that I will always seek to follow the law. And I promise you I will do my best to do that. And I thank you for being here today to help me, and I ask you to help me in the future in our joint effort to achieve justice. Thank you very much.
In Panama City, Glenn Austin, TV 7 News. Meet Jenica Blair, a healthy 8-pound baby girl. What's different about Jenica is that doctors believe that she may be Florida's first test tube baby. She was born at Humana Hospital in Fort Walton Beach. The parents, Bob and Jessica Blair, have been trying to have children for the last 5 years. After discovering that her fallopian tubes were blocked, they traveled to New Orleans to participate in a procedure called in vitro fertilization, which simply means that the mother's eggs were united with the husband's sperm in a laboratory. Later, they were implanted in Jessica. The result was a beautiful, healthy girl.
She'll know that she's a real special baby because she'll know how much it took for us to actually, to have her. Some kids are brought into the world and they're not wanted, but this child was wanted, and, I went through a lot of surgery in order to have her. She's special.
The procedure cost about $4,000. Jessica says that, thankfully, the insurance paid the majority of that cost. The baby was due around the first of the year. When labor pains began this week, it took 22 hours before the decision was made to deliver the child by C-section.
Jessica had about a 22-hour labor, and she pushed for about 2 hours and 45 minutes, and the head was not descending into the pelvis very well, so we elected, for those reasons, to deliver the baby by operation.
Pretty difficult. 22 hours is a long time to be in labor, but I had two great coaches, my sister-in-law Sandy and my husband. so they really helped a lot.
Bob and Jessica plan to have another test tube child in about 2 years. They say you can choose the sex of the child, and they want a boy to round out the family. Meanwhile, this little girl will be the focus of a lot of attention. In Fort Walton Beach, Glenn Austin, TV7 News.
Various television and radio stations, as well as members of the print media, set up booths in Panama City Mall for a two-day event called Media Mania. It's the second year for the event, which is actually a fundraiser for muscular dystrophy. Visitors to the mall had a chance to talk with members of the media and were asked to make donations to the fight against muscular dystrophy. Mall Marketing Director Linda Wagner says the public was also asked to vote on their favorite media person.
We conduct a favorite personality contest by allowing the public a chance to vote for their favorite personality by donating money. All the money that's collected goes to muscular dystrophy. Some of the other participating media are also conducting additional fundraisers for muscular dystrophy.
Wagner says 8 groups participated in the event. Last year, some $900 was raised at Media Mania. This year's goal is $1,000.
Earlier this week, Panama City Beach and Lynn Haven voted not to renew their contracts with the Humane Society. Lynn Haven gave financial reasons, and the Beach Council said there were just too many complaints. Today, Humane Society officials said that the contracts were canceled because city officials failed to communicate with the Humane Society.
We're dealing with some individuals that have not taken the time to make themselves knowledgeable how the situations work or even how their own laws work.
Gregory added that personal problems between city officials and the Humane Society magnified the problem.
I think it's a personality conflict between some of the individuals. We don't plan on getting into any kind of a name-calling situation.
Gregory went on to say that the Bay County Humane Society is considered a model operation to several other counties. However, this may change a little. The lost revenue from the contracts will cost the Humane Society about $55,000 this coming year. 2 jobs will have to be eliminated, and other employees making $3.50 an hour will have to take a pay cut. The society will also lose one of its trucks. Gregory said that they will adjust and deliver the same service to everyone else. She added that Lynn Haven and Panama City Beach may have made a mistake in canceling their contracts.
I don't think their officers are going to be trained to deal with raccoons, snakes, this type of thing. And I think that what's going to happen is a lot of animals are going to suffer, and a lot of people who really care are going to be made to suffer, because I think the decisions were made impulsively, and I think they're going to regret it.
Humane Society officials said that when the contract ends in September, they will not accept any animals from Panama City Beach or Lynn Haven. They did say that they would be willing to renegotiate another contract with them if they wanted to. In Bay County, Glenn Austin, TV7 News.
Bay County produces more than 350 tons of solid waste each day, and as you can imagine, an incinerator that has to burn all of that waste has to be a big project, and this one is. Westinghouse officials and spokesmen for the contractor handling the project say so far it's 2 months ahead of schedule, with a completion date set for May 1st of next year. Yesterday marked somewhat of a milestone in the project with the arrival of this rotary combustor. An identical unit is set to arrive in July. The combustors each are capable of handling or burning 255 tons of solid waste daily, thereby giving the incinerator the capacity to burn 510 tons of solid waste every 24 hours. According to Westinghouse's project manager, Milton Kirkpatrick, these are the key elements in the incinerator unit.
The rotary combustor is the heart of this resource recovery plant operation. This is where the municipal solid waste is combusted, it's burned. That combustor will be actually in operation, will be full of fire. Heat from the combustion process will be removed through those water wall tubes, and this water will then be circulated through the boiler, and the boiler will extract the remaining heat from the gases that leave here and convert that to steam, which will be used in a steam electric generator.
The combustors will fit into the boiler units. Those are the gray structures in the foreground in this aerial view of the project. The large building you see in the background is the refuse receiving building. That's about 3/4 complete, and that's where the solid waste that Bay County is produced will be received. From there, it's transported through the combustors. County officials will tell you that when the project costing $34.5 million is completed next year, the county's landfill problems will once and for all be over. Rex Ogburn, TV7 News.
The Grand Ballroom at the Marriott's Bay Point Resort today became a makeshift warehouse. Hundreds of boxes full of some $1.5 million worth of goodies arrived today. The shopping list for this massive complex includes some 4,800 napkins, 2,000 tablecloths, thousands of towels and sheets, hundreds of ashtrays, several thousand plates, and the list goes on to include clamshell soap dishes and genuine oyster shell trays on which to place individual-sized bottles of shampoo, conditioner, and hand lotion. And while all of this unloading and unpacking is going on inside, finishing touches are being made outside. General Manager John Ayers says September 11th is the big day. The hotel will officially open its doors to the public.
Come next February 15th, thereabouts, we'll have the entire project open, which will be a total of 550 units, which is about 700 bedrooms. And we'll have all of our restaurants and our beaches and our everything.
By Tuesday, over 300 hotel employees will arrive to help with the preparations. And Air says by next spring, the Bay Point Resort will employ over 600 workers. When it's all finished, the price tag for the whole project will amount to close to $100 million. Sally Fazio, TV7 News.
Most of the students that come to Gulf Coast Community College are fresh from an academic setting, be that high school, a vocational center, or another college or university. There are many students, though, who for one reason or another either didn't pick up the necessary study schools in high school or have been out of an academic setting for a while and need to brush up on some of those classroom habits. For those students, there is this class, the Special Project for Disadvantaged Students. Instructor Carrie Baker says the class is designed to give her students that extra little edge that can make the difference in a college classroom.
A lot of my students are missing just the basic kinds of skills, and if I can kind of get them going with the basic skills, I think that they will be able to pick up the ones that are essential to upper division colleges or whatever later on. But right now we'd kind of get them into basic learning skills.
The study skills include basics such as how to be a more effective reader and how to develop a personal system of taking notes. While there is no typical student in the program, Kendrick Larry and Deborah Jones represent the broad backgrounds from which the students come. Kendrick is visually impaired and at this point can use the extra attention that the program offers him, while Deborah has been away from the classroom for 6 years and is taking advantage of the program offerings in order to improve her study skills.
Well, like right now, we're doing the part on the reading, and it's helping us a lot because they're trying to break your old reading habits. Just reading it, that's it, putting it up. This is getting more material out of it than what you would have normally.
The class size is small, so each student can get a little more attention from all of the instructors in the program, something Kendrick says is a big plus for him.
Like a person like me, I ask a lot of questions, you know, and she have really helped me a lot. Like when I don't understand something in the English class, Now I go to Miss Stillworth, and she explained it farther. And Mrs. Crow the same way, like when I don't understand something math, and she explained it farther.
It's added programs such as the Special Project for Disadvantaged Students that helps keep the academic standing at Gulf Coast one of the highest of any of Florida's community colleges. David Reinhardt, TV7 News.
The festival began early with a pancake breakfast at the Panhandle Shrine Club. Thus nourished, folks could then watch or participate in the 5,000-meter watermelon road race, which drew several hundred runners from several southeastern states. Mid-morning brought the traditional parade through the uptown area, complete with beauties, civic organizations, representatives of the upcoming Possum Festival, Indians, motorcycles, and stunt riders from several shrine clubs, and horses, all to the delight of the kiddies. There's always a big watermelon contest, and this year's top entry was an 85-pound whopper grown by R.H. Murphy of Ponce de Leon. That jumbo was auctioned off along with the other entries and went to the high bidder, Southeast Bank at Chipley, for $575, or a little over $7 a pound. Washington County 4-H'ers sponsored a South Alabama, Northwest Florida sanctioned horse show, which drew great response from throughout the tri-state area. There were contests such as seed spitting and melon eating for the kids, and then in the afternoon, a well-attended and well-received talent show, which featured some of the best amateur and semi-professional groups from around this region. And of course, there was all the juicy, red, ripe, and free watermelon you could eat, and eat, and eat. Reporting from the Watermelon Festival at Chipley, this is Dave Everly for TV7 News.
We hope you enjoyed this trip back in time. Join us every Tuesday for this time travel exclusive only on News Channel 7.